So just flipping over a few logs here in the area, and particular spot, 3 different sizes of Sepia nemuralis, the snail that we talked about in the arboretum. These all tend to have fairly similar stripe patterns, but there's actually a lot of variability in the patterning that you see on this, and it's actually being used in a really interesting experiment involving students, including high school students in Europe, to look at distribution of different morphs and asking students to record which ones they see in different areas, and trying to look at how that has evolved over time, the distributions of those different, and whether it correlates to, you know, particular things like presence of different predators or what have you. So take a look as you're out, and if you notice these snails, see if you find different morphs of them. A lot of variation in this species. There's another interesting little guy. There's another myriapod. Which are the centipedes and millipedes. This is a different one. I haven't seen it before. So we were mostly talking about bryophytes and some invertebrates, but there are vertebrates other than large hairless mammals in this particular.
These are huge vertebrates.
And here's one of them, Plethodon cinereus, eastern redback salamander, which you find, you know, under logs and kind of like moist areas.
They like eating ants. And I say they're a huge one because this guy has no lungs. And that's kind of a large animal to have lost that.
And it sounds like that would be a weird kind of feature and something of a detriment, but the Plethodontidae is, I think, the largest family of salamanders, so they're actually quite successful.
Lungs, who needs them?
Who needs them? A little more animal diversity here. This is a water strider. They are hemipterans, and in the family Gerridae. So this is probably in the genus Gerris. And as you can see, they float along on the top of the water here. It's an insect in the order Hemiptera. And here's another interesting find. Really rather large crayfish, just sitting in this very small bit of water. I'll see if I can poke him out from underneath that little log where he's hiding. There he is. Captured by the intrepid Dr. Smith. Found in a little tiny bit of this stream. And that is a large crayfish. I wouldn't be able to identify it. It's a decapod crustacean. Quite different from the isopods that you see that are terrestrial around here, living under logs and things. This one's aquatic and not too happy to be out of the water, but he'll be returned to it quite shortly.